This crossbow was about $300 at Walmart. This crossbow runs about $3,000 with the scope and the bolts. But how much difference is there actually? Does 10 times the cost make it 10 times better? Let's talk about that. The answer's no. But let's get into detail. So this is my $300 crossbow. I got it at Walmart. It's a Wild Game Innovations. I have killed deer with this. I've helped other people kill deer with this. And there's been a lot of people in the world kill deer with this. So is this a viable hunting crossbow? Absolutely, and it's killed a lot of deer. But let me show you how it works, because how it works and how it's set is probably going to factor into the cost. This is your most basic old school crossbow, where you're going to need a setter like this. This is a string. You're putting your energy to set the crossbow. Now, you don't have to reach down and pull it up like that, but you do have to use these things to come in there and pull the string up with your body. Now, you're also going to hear a lot of screeching. Screeching is usually a sign of lower quality. Am I saying that this crossbow is just as good as the $3,000 one? I'm not saying that. Am I saying this one's going to last as long? I'm not saying that one either. Am I saying that this one has a higher chance of blowing up in your face than that one? Yeah, a little bit, but I'd say that's probably your biggest consideration, considering it can be really bad for you if it blows up. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. Besides that, this is a really solid crossbow. It came with a scope. It came with a quiver. The crossbow is ready to go. I think a lot of times the cheaper ones do actually come with arrows, as do most crossbows actually. But I'm going to go ahead and load it up. I'm going to take a shot at a deer. We're 30 yards away, which is your average hunting distance. And I'm going to put it right on the vitals. And we'll walk up and see how it does right here in a minute. And pulling the trigger nice and slow. Bam. Crossbow fired, functions just like it was supposed to. Now, hold on a minute. What did I say about blowing up in your face? Okay, so here's the thing. I bought this at Walmart 4 years ago. I don't think they make these anymore. I don't think they sell these anymore. And there is a handful of reviews about these kind of breaking down quicker. How the strings maybe aren't as high quality. The limbs aren't as high quality. The bolts that hold them together aren't as high quality. And there has been some stories about these blowing up. That's kind of bad. Now, is that this particular model or all $300 crossbows? Not super sure, but I just know this one. Overall, in my experience, I really like this one, and I could still use this one to kill deer if I needed to. Now, with that being said, I've used this one for a while. Never had anything go crazy with it. The string serving right here could be replaced, but it's still not even in that bad a shape. It's just wore a little bit. I put this one together, so I made sure the screws was good. I tightened them down to the right amount. I do take care of my string, which means waxing it when it needs waxed. And I shoot the bolts, arrows, and sizes that you're supposed to shoot out of them. So that could have something to do with why it's worked pretty good. But now let me pick up the $3,000 crossbow and let's look at it and see if it's that much better. This is a Raven. It's a very expensive crossbow brand. Let's see. You can tell that it looks a little bit different. The limbs are a little more in. The strings look a little more complex. It's got more rubberized material on it. And overall, the quality of this thing and all the parts is going to be higher. The screws are going to be better screws. The strings are probably going to be better springs. The metal pieces are probably going to be higher quality metal. And of course, the engineering that goes into all of it is probably going to be more in depth. And with all that engineering also comes higher speeds. So that one I think shoots like 370 feet per second. This one shoots 450. Yeah, 450, that's a lot. Now with this one, you also load it differently. Instead of having to use your energy and pulling, it actually comes with a crank and a Kevlar strap or something right here. So that I can do that. I can silently wind it like this, and I can even stop if I want to because it has a braking system in here. So you're getting a lot more technology and a lot more reliability and a lot more forgiveness for if you do something wrong. Also with the scope, let me show you the scope on the other one real quick because both of them did come with a scope. Here is the scope on this one. It's a basic 4-power scope, but you can see the reticle. It's got some hash marks in there. But I did have to do my own study right here to kind of figure out the bullet or the arrow drop on each. The bolt drop, I guess. This one also came with a 4-power scope. But it's a lot more complex in there and has a lot more calculations for arrow drop. But let me go ahead and put a bolt in here and I'll shoot it on the deer target and we'll see which one kills the deer better. Fits in there good. A nice safety. I'm gonna go ahead and aim down target. This one's also lighter, so lighter materials too. But I'm gonna put it right on target. We're gonna see which arrow kills the deer better. This one's trigger was a little bit better. The arrow flew faster. Well, let's go take a look and see if there's actually a 10x difference between a $300 crossbow and a $3,000 crossbow. You start off with a $300 crossbow, that'll be the baseline. Jump up to a $600 crossbow. I estimate those to be about 40% better. So better technology, better strings, better metal, a better warranty, that's something to factor in. A little bit better engineering, lighter weights, maybe a better scope on there too. Then you go from $600 up to like $3,000, and I'd say you get like a 15% jump from there. So it's not necessarily a perfect line. It's kind of like the more you spend, the less extra you get. And that seems to be how a lot of things work. It seems to be how prices work on a lot of things. The more you spend, the less you get in return, but you will get a better product. This is the Raven, so I was able to put it right there, the expensive one, and this is the cheap one. You know what? Those are both dead deer, that's for sure. They both absolutely kill a deer, and we were only 30 yards away, which is a pretty average shot for bow hunting, I guess. Let me pull these arrows out, okay? And so seeing the performance of the crossbows, here's my final thoughts. That crossbow can kill a deer, that crossbow can kill a deer. That one's definitely easier and nicer to shoot. Things are less likely to go wrong, and if they do, the warranty will cover it. This one has a few more things that could go wrong, and if it goes wrong, you're probably just up the creek without a paddle, since the warranty on cheaper things usually isn't as good. And the other thing that worries me, whenever you're talking about a high energy system like a crossbow, sometimes you don't want to be putting all your faith in a really cheap setup. In my experience, it's been a great crossbow. But there has been some stories online of that exact crossbow blowing up and falling apart. Now, I've not had it happen, but the reviews have. And this goes to show that whether you're buying a cheap one or an expensive one, check out the reviews and see what people are talking about it online. Because we've also seen in history that the cheap things are just made simply and right, where the expensive things are overcomplicated and don't work as good. So we can kind of go both ways. But if you're going with a cheaper crossbow, all is good. It can still shoot. It can still kill animals. Just check the reviews to make sure it's good and reliable and safe. Because a crossbow is not something you want to be good enough. But do I really think it was worth it to me to pay a lot more money for that one? I don't really know because I didn't buy it. Someone gave it to me. All right, so we really didn't plan on making this part of the video, but we have one of these Killer Instinct crossbows right here. And is this one of the cheaper models, I guess?
Yeah, I paid around $400 for it.
So it's one of the cheaper ones, and let me show you what we just found out about it. So y'all were shooting it for the first little bit, and it was doing great. Shooting really good, right?
Yep.
But then we started looking around, and this part right here is actually plastic. It started hitting a little weird, so we started looking at it. See if we can see that right there. Can you see that? Can they see it? It's a crack, and you can even pull it and it opens up. So like, and that goes all the way down. And this is the main frame of the crossbow. So there's something else to think about. This is a cheaper crossbow overall, especially when the main thing is plastic. That's something else to think about. So, and this one's actually really similar to the one I had back home, but that's just something else right there. If you had a more expensive crossbow, I'd say that probably wouldn't happen because that probably wouldn't be made out of plastic, but we didn't plan on putting this in the video, but it happened, so wanted to put that in there, I guess. What are your thoughts?
You're gonna have to buy a new one.
That one there is the Killer Instinct. In this video right here, I actually go to Walmart and take a look at their crossbow selection. You can check it out if you want to see. Or right over here if you're more interested in guns and want to see what calibers are best for deer hunting.